Babe, this is easy peasy with you. We could carve out a living with this shit, right?
I just want to have fun with you, Jack Honar. I
It's
wish
hard
I
not to.
wish we
I'm a
were.
blast.
You are so fun. Life is not dull with you. It's never dull.
It's the Jack
And Kathy
Show.
Shit Show.
And there we go.
Yeah, how was that?
Okay,
Did you like
I
that
think
one?
I think it. Yeah.
Okay.
Here's the deal.
You cannot eat a snack during the podcast, honey. Listen to that noise.
Okay, I want everyone to know, for those of you that are listening and not watching, listening. Our English language is really goofy. If
It
you're,
looks like you're going like this, like you're. Like,
what's that?
yeah.
Okay, sorry. I just wanted to. I don't know what to do with my hands.
You seriously are going to snack on
Here's the
dark
thing.
chocolate and peanut butter right now.
Everyone that's listening right now is running to the store to buy dark chocolate and peanut butter. And
Until they are sponsoring us.
if you love, if you loved your husband like you claim to do, and I use the word claim loosely.
I did just have a dream about Jerry. We are going to
We'll
share
get there
that,
in a
you know.
second.
Yeah.
If you loved your husband like you claim to do, you would go upstairs right now and get me the bananas. So I would have banana, peanut butter, and chocolate. There is no other food source that anyone needs on this planet.
That is a good combo. You know what I used to do is take, that's actually a really high quality chocolate from Colombia that Jenny brought back.
If Jenny listens to this podcast, I would say thank you, Jenny.
But I would put chocolate and peanut butter in the microwave for a little bit and kind of mix it together. And it's so delicious.
Imagine dunking a banana into it.
I wonder who discovered that combination of chocolate and peanuts. It's really fantastic.
I think I did. I'm pretty sure I did.
I'm pretty sure you didn't.
The Reese's family did.
But let's talk about my homemade kombucha substitute.
Can we talk about my little food
I made
habit?
you. Sure, you want to keep talking about your chocolate and peanut
I think
butter?
chocolate and peanut butter is delightful.
It
I
is.
I think we should change.
It is.
I think we should change the direction of the podcast.
You know what? You and I fit together like chocolate and peanut butter.
We do. Who's the
Right?
chocolate though?
I'm a very high quality chocolate.
And I'm just a sloppy mess.
You're gooey.
I'm just creamy.
Oh, well, accurate.
Why don't we change the podcast?
We'll call ourselves chocolate and peanut butter.
That's so queer. No, I'm getting in trouble for saying that word now. That's so corny.
It is corny.
It's not even cute.
It's not going to happen, so it's okay.
No, I feel we should just talk about food and eat it.
Well, again, let's talk about what I did bring you because I am a loving wife. What have I started making for you that I kind of sort of made up, but I'm sure it exists?
So everyone who's watching this podcast, look at me. It's because she thinks I'm fat. Go ahead. Your turn.
It's because I love you. And we all know the key to health. We don't all know, we should know,
Is to not be fat.
is gut health,
Gut health.
right? Gut health.
Oh, that's true. Oh, I'm
The health
sorry.
of your
Yes.
gut.
It's your turn now. We're not just talking about chocolate.
We're not, but you are eating a very high quality chocolate. It probably is really good for you, actually.
You think so? For real?
I think you get antioxidants
And dark chocolate?
from dark chocolate. Yeah,
No
there's
shit.
some health benefits,
I
no
did not
doubt.
know that.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
And
Kombucha me,
peanut
baby.
butter is high in protein, so that's good.
Okay.
But anyway, so no, I have apple cider vinegar, raw apple cider vinegar with water, a little bit of raw honey, and a squeeze of lemon in this. Oh, I forgot the mineral salt. I like putting a little pinch of mineral salt in
That'll be
there
okay.
too. You can't taste it, but after working out, it's good to replenish. But anyway, it's a good, healthy gut elixir. And I think it tastes like kombucha. And when you tasted it, you
It
thought so
does.
too, right?
It does.
It's without the
Carbonation.
effervescence. Yeah, the carbonation. Yeah, yeah.
What do they put in there? Like club soda to make it carbonated?
No, that's
they
part
just-
of the culture is growing. That's like a
Oh.
live culture. That's a natural.
So if we closed it and let it sit there, you're saying.
Yeah, I don't know I've never made kombucha, but it's the sugars that turn into that. that ferment. The sugars ferment, create the carbonation or whatever it is happening on a science level. It's similar to when you're growing yeast. You're growing the starter for.
Did you see a gynecologist for that
Did you get peanut butter on the chair?
No, not peanut butter. Worse.
Chocolate, and now you're smearing it.
It went all the way down. We're good.
It went all the way down.
It went all the way down. I went to peel the cushion apart from the side,
and it
just
went all the way down.
We're good.
Okay.
There's no.
Okay. Do we need to get up and get that?
When you talked
We've owned
about,
these chairs for like
we're good.
60 days.
When you say yeast, you're talking about like a yeast infection.
No.
Oh.
No, I'm talking about. I'm talking about like when.
I like how totally serious you get. We're like, not a yeast infection. As if that's what I was really meaning.
I am not. Oh, do you want the heater on during the?
Should I turn that
podcast?
off?
Yeah, you probably should.
All right, you
It's
keep
noisy.
talking because no one listens to me anyway.
So anyway, that's what I made you because I'm a loving wife and I care about your gut health. And it's good to wash down your peanut butter and chocolate with my mock kombucha.
What do I do with my yeast infections, though?
You're fucked. But
Do men get yeast infections?
I don't know.
We do get something called schmegma. You ever heard of it? It sounds like it totally sounds like something out of Austin Powers, doesn't
Ew.
it? Schmegma.
Is that a Yiddish word?
I've got some schmegma. Alex sent me, was it you? No, it was Alex that sent me this husband that did every character of Austin Powers. So did Dr. Evil, did Fat Bastard, get in my belly. And then did Golden, what's his name? There was a guy. But he did all of them. He did all the characters.
That's amazing.
And
Was it an actor or
no, it was just a
an
guy doing it
impersonator?
to his wife,
It's
annoying the fuck out of his wife.
Yeah.
He truly dressed up as all of them.
Oh, he dressed up like
he
him
goes,
too.
Farja. It looks like you and Farja. Like how Goldmember, that's his name.
Gold member.
Yeah, that's what I just like.
Yep.
I have some schmegma.
There are so many classic lines out of the Austin Powers movie that really
Will you do me a favor?
maybe. What's the request?
There's a lot of apple cider vinegar in this one.
Really? Too
vinegary.
much? Okay, you can add more
It's okay.
water.
I gotta shake it up probably. Would you like today to watch an Austin Powers with me? Would you do that?
We could tonight. I have a few things to accomplish today,
Oh.
young man.
Speaking of, we're going nowhere with this podcast. Because we have nothing to talk about.
That's not true.
It is true.
No,
It is.
no.
My way. Highway. So we had your camera's over here. That's your camera right there.
I'm going to look at them both.
You're gonna look at all three of them. That was classic. I was gonna say, oh my God, that's a lot of vinegar.
You're fine.
That's
You
a
need
lot.
it.
That's a lot more
Really?
than you normally
Sorry.
put in there. No, it's okay. I'm gonna have to have some chocolate and peanut butter to wash it down.
Well, thank goodness you have that on hand.
What if the apple cider is the flavor is being exacerbated because of the chocolate and peanut butter? Think it over.
Okay.
We have to do our podcast in the afternoon because we are our silliest then. Normally we've been recording at night. Do you notice that we're recording at night?
Oftentimes, yes.
We're kinda
Kathy
tired.
gets tired because I'm old. Yeah.
Haggard.
So we've been. Are
Wait,
you
don't
done
go-
bantering?
No.
Oh, do you have a topic?
I don't have a topic, but I've got a banter topic.
Okay, banter away.
Because you
my
were talking
love.
about movies, and maybe we could watch a movie tonight.
Yeah.
Can we share with the audience that for anyone paying attention, you could look at camera 2 if you want to, or camera 1. Camera 2, camera 1, camera 2. Did you ever see that, by the way? That was in Wayne's World. He was looking at his girlfriend and he was closing his one eye like this, going, camera 1, camera 2, camera. Did you ever see that? No?
No.
Oh, God.
No, I don't
too
remember
much
that.
useless
You know,
shit.
Carrie was in Wayne's World.
Harry's in Wayne's World?
Carrie's in Wayne's World.
Like
Yeah.
in it?
She's in it. She was an actress living in LA at the time.
No.
And yeah.
Where? Now I got to watch it. For how long?
She
you
has a
being serious?
line.
She's a
comes up.
line?
Yeah, they're in the car, I think, and I can't
So
remember.
does she get
She's
money
in
if we were to
Wayne's
watch
World.
it? Like $1?
Yeah,
For real?
she does. Yeah, absolutely. She
No
still gets
shit.
residual checks, and she was also in Miami Blue with Alec Baldwin. I can't remember who else was in that, but
Did she
yeah,
play a prostitute or anything fun?
I think she did actually.
No, you're
yeah,
totally
in
fucking with
Miami
me.
Blue. Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Come on.
yeah.
How
I think
cool is
so.
that?
Yeah. Yeah,
Why aren't we
she
just
looks
watching?
beautiful.
We should just have it on repeat all day.
No doubt.
Seriously.
I know.
But you know what? The SAG contract didn't include streaming, which is bullshit. It's
I
only
know it is. I
It's
know.
crazy. You guys
I know.
get ripped
That's
off on that.
That's why the union is so important.
Yeah, you guys got ripped off on
Because,
that
yeah.
badly.
Because let's do everything we can to make sure that the producers and the
Artists get zero. Or the producers get everything, but the artists get nothing.
yeah.
Where I was going
Mm-hmm.
with this when I did the camera 1, camera 2, and we segued, which is what you do during banter.
Mm-hmm.
Where I was going with this is that because you're a Screen Actors Guild member, because of your
Card carrying member. Mm-hmm.
brilliant acting career.
Oh yes.
Oh, yes. You were in Polecats 2 or Polecats 1? I can't remember.
Both.
Both.
Yes, I played
Great, sorry.
different characters.
Great. So,
I don't even know what those movies are, but I get the idea.
They're good.
Polecats. That's what I figured.
Polecats Invade College. There are a whole bunch of
You
them.
should leave the cap off your water bottle.
I thought it makes it gets rid of it creates the effervescent stuff. Or whatever.
No, there is none. There's no fermentation that goes on
Oh, okay.
right now in the,
So, because you were a member of the Guild of Screen Actors, right?
Yeah.
You get access every year to all the movies that are up for an Academy Award.
Not Academy. It is the Screen Actors Guild, the
it's
SAG
same
Awards.
stuff, right?
It often is the same stuff. Yes, it often is.
So
yeah.
we wanted to watch that movie with Daniel Craig simply because he's in it.
Yeah.
We couldn't get our hands on that one, so we'll have to watch it someplace else. But we
Right.
watched Demi Moore is up for. Is it Demi, whatever?
I think we talked about it in the last
Did we talk about it in the
podcast.
last one?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, I didn't remember that.
Yeah.
We
yeah,
did?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then we talked about it. Fucking nutso movie. But I would like to watch more of those
It's called
with you.
The Substance.
Yes, I would like to watch. I forgot we talked about it. I'd like to watch more of those with you.
Yeah.
In addition to getting Carrie some credit somehow, so we can just buy the DVD, right? Like it's $20. What does she get out of that? Maybe $1.
I'm not sure.
Oh,
I'm not
let's
sure.
just give her a 20.
Yeah.
Be easier just to give her $20.
Sometimes those movies air on, some obscure
Channel,
cable channel, and then there's a little money that comes her way. But yeah.
So what do you think of watching some movies this evening then, Mama?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah. Just like many other evenings.
Well, no, but I mean, we could watch some Screen Actors Guild stuff, or we could watch Austin Powers.
I think we should do the Screen Actors Guild stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, as much as possible. Because maybe for the first time in my life, I'd vote. I have until February 22nd, I think.
That's yesterday.
To make
That was
to
yesterday.
vote.
That was yesterday.
No, I think I have a little time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a topic for our show? Should we take a commercial break then at this point? Do you have a topic you'd like to discuss?
Yeah, I
You
kind
do?
of want to talk about how the universe works.
It's gravitational pulls. It
That's
rotates
it,
around
right?
the sun.
Yes. Yes.
Do you really have a topic? You're going to run this one then? I'm going to
Sure.
sit back and listen?
Well, no, you're going to participate, but yeah, I will take the lead on this one.
Why don't we do that then?
All right, babe.
We will be
When
back.
we come back.
And remember when Chuck Woolery used to do? Remember what Chuck Woolery used to do? Do you remember?
No.
I'm feeling like I'm on cocaine right now because I'm talking so fast. Do you remember what Chuck Woolery used to do?
No.
Back in 2 and 2. Remember that? When
Yeah,
was
why
on
did
the-
he do
was on
that?
the
2 and 2.
2 minutes and 2 seconds. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
You don't remember? Remember he used to do that if he was on the dating game?
I guess
We'll be
so.
right back in 2
he
and 2.
had the really skinny
No, he didn't have that.
who was it that had the really
thinking of,
skinny microphone?
Yeah, he was on it was the show where they all wrote, they were 6 people sitting there. Not X's and
Hollywood
O's,
Squares?
Not Hollywood Squares. Oh God, we'll have to look it up now. Now you got me going. But anyway, we'll be back after a quick break, and Kathy's going to take charge. She has a
Sounds
topic
good.
about the universe.
Yeah.
So this is about planets and stars,
All
right?
Okay.
Why are you looking
When
at the
we get back.
Okay. When we return. Kathy, do you remember the first deep conversation we had?
Of course, I asked you if you believed in soulmates, and you asked me if I wanted to split a pizza.
Hey, both are very important questions, but here's the thing. We're still learning new things about each other every day, and the Skin Deep makes that even better.
These are amazing conversation cards that spark real, meaningful talks, whether you've been together for 30 days or 30 years.
Yeah, or if you just want to win date night by asking deep questions and pretending you planned it all along.
Exactly. And lucky for you, we've got a 15% discount just for our listeners. Go to theskindeep.com/shitshow and use the code shitshow at checkout.
Get closer, laugh harder, and maybe even learn something new about the person you thought you knew everything about.
Go grab your deck now. That didn't sound quite right.
That sounded a little uncomfortable.
Oh, I can't leave Jack
See.
Honar hanging like that.
And we returned.
Jack Honar.
So
You were like no other.
what did I do just now that made you laugh?
You're just a goof.
What
You just
did I do?
you just make me laugh.
But
You
no one really knows what just happened. So if you guys can understand, and what we do is we'll sit here and we'll say we'll be right back, and then we pause for 3 seconds and we come right back. And you guys
And
here
in editing, you add a
I
commercial
cut it,
and all
put
that
commercials in
stuff,
and all
but
those
really-
stuff. But I sit here and I just stare at the camera. I should just leave what it looks like one time, where I just stare and then go, we're back.
Or else duck out of frame.
And then I'll
come
go ahead
back.
like that, just to be a goofball. We're back now at the Jack and Kathy Shit Show, part 2.
So-
you've got a topic.
So I wanted to talk about we have been talking a lot about how we believe the universe works, right? How things that you were things in life that present themselves to you, and you paying attention to why that happened, what to do with it, what resonates with you, and following it because it just showed up in your life. And so we were especially talking about this yesterday because one of my clients that I helped sell her parents' house, and then I helped her and her wife buy a house, and then when they were moving, I helped them sell the house, and hadn't spoken to her in a couple of years because they had moved out of state. And she has started a new business called YourWhyHealth.com. And she reached out and through WhatsApp yesterday and took her phone call. And it was just this amazing. Oh, I'm all over the place. My brain is really scattered.
Go for it. I'm not going anywhere. Can I eat my chocolate while you're talking?
No.
Okay.
So Jack and I have been talking about nonstop what our future together looks like and what is it that we want. And one of the biggest ideas that we keep coming back to a couple times over has to
OnlyFans.
do with moving to Europe.
Europe.
And now that Kathy has her dual citizenship, what are the advantages there, which are huge, but what does that mean for you? And can we get your citizenship?
Or you can go do your own thing and you leave me for Jerry.
That's right. More on that later.
Go ahead.
That people are dying to know who the hell Jerry is. So anyway, we've been talking about all these things, and then we get this phone call, or I get this phone call from my client Molly, and turns out she and her wife are living in Spain, just on the edge of Barcelona. And they moved to Italy in 2020. I was unaware of this. And so they have been through this process of what it's like to live in Italy, and then what it was like to move to Spain. And they actually bought property there, and then what it was like to navigate and work in the country. And we talk so much about that, and she has since shared some tremendous resources to help us figure it out. And yesterday, I'm sure you agree with me, we were like, what is happening? How? That's just crazy how the universe works, that you and I have been discussing this and what all that takes. And then boom, this person is put in front of us that knows a little extra about what it takes to do that, and shares resources. And it really is something that neither of us want to ignore. And so we're going to look into that. And so it's just that power of the universe and paying attention to where that leads you. And to me, that ties into having a partner who also sees these things the same way, right? You weren't somebody that poo-pooed we didn't poo-poo each other on this idea of, isn't that crazy what the universe puts in front of you? And we're both like, damn, we got to pay attention to that. And it happens all the time, really. And for various reasons. I mean, this particular thing could be really massive in terms of it leading to us moving to Europe. But then in other more subtle ways too, like a connection you make that maybe helped somebody else, or a random connection you make and then that leads to you finding a drummer or someone else to play music with. And it's just when we are open to that, and when we follow through, and this is what you were talking to me about in the car, the universe could bombard you with all kinds of stuff. And unless you take initiative, and unless you follow through, and unless you pursue something, nothing's ever going to happen if you don't pursue it, right? But just paying attention and listening, and also to have that partner who supports that and sees it and it resonates the same way. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. Because it happened actually, again this morning, where on the last podcast, I talked about this idea of opening up a talent agency. And I met with Arlene, who used to own the talent agency locally that I'm still friends with. And I met her for coffee, and she allowed me to pick her brain about the logistics of how to open an agency. And, it's like anything, it's a lot, right? It's not just, build a website and then you're done. So it's a lot. It's a commitment of time, energy, and resources. And then this morning, I get a text from my friend Kim, who is a hair and makeup artist locally and very much in the industry as well, and has been since we were both really, really young. And she says, people are telling me all the time that I should open an agency. Can we connect together for coffee again, or a glass of wine, because I'd like to talk to you? And I was like, holy shit. Now what's that about? And so I'm just going to overturn every rock and kind of see where it takes me. And I know, and this is the other thing we talked about, I know that I am somebody who has a degree of fear that drives a lot of things. Like, I need to feel safe, right? I need certain things to be, I like the idea of being adventurous, but I also need to know I'm safe. Right?
You like a layer of certainty. That's your safety, is certainty.
Yeah.
A layer of it. Doesn't mean you have to be certain, but you like a layer of certainty.
Yes.
If I could interrupt you, it brings me back to This is where we complement one another. We're different, very different here.
Yeah.
And I think it complements each one of us. It reminds me of our trip to, I'm flexing, Switzerland, when we were sitting in Thun. And I said to you, what the fuck are we doing here? Or doing in the States?
Yeah.
Like, we want to be someplace else. And you went, how?
Yeah.
And I went, I don't know, go back, fix it the house, sell it, I'll get us a job. And
Yeah.
the uncertainty of it doesn't faze me at all because I, especially with you by my side, feel so certain that I'm resourceful, that something will work out. And oh, by the way, if it doesn't, okay, so we come home, right? Like, big fucking deal. We're not stupid. We're going to buy a $5 million house someplace and leverage ourselves to create an adventure, though.
I know.
I mean, you know my feeling on all this. You can wait for everything to be perfectly lined up, and all you've done is wait. You know, and fun doesn't mean stupid. I say that often. I just feel if you don't take risks on yourself or in life, then what are you doing here? You've got basically, if you're lucky, 75 years of active life. That's nothing.
That's
and by
definitely
the way,
something that popped in my head. Like, we are the passage of time, and the idea that, I'm having, my left knee is really bothering me right now, which is limiting me. And that is worrisome. That's not how I feel internally. As other parts of my body get stronger, to have this problem. And it does make me feel like, oh my God, we gotta maximize this time we have left. Not only, who knows when we might pass from this world, but how many years do we have left that we're able-bodied, right?
Yeah.
That we can do these things physically.
Well, I just sent the kids. I think I sent you the article. You were reading it this morning. The article.
Yep.
I forget what it was now. It was just an article about living a quality life, is that we're consumed, particularly in the United States, but overall, not just us, but particularly in the United States, with stuff. And
Consumption and accumulation, and how we associate that with success and fulfillment in life.
yeah, and it's, let's look at the numbers real quickly. When you're between 0 and 2 years old, you're doing, for 2 solid years, you're doing nothing but eating and shitting. And you're getting imprinted by your family members, but you're largely non-communicative and you're a blob. From 2 to 5, you're trying to form your own human being. My point is, it's not until you get to be around 10, 11, 12, 13 where you really start to form who you are a little bit. It's not until you get to be in high school where you think you know who you are. You go through your 20s with some arrogant state, and it's not until you get into your 40s and 50s that you start to go, I think I'm figuring this shit out. By that time, you're on the other side. You're on the, as I like to say, that Scott Galloway fucking steals from me all the time.
Walking to the clubhouse?
You're walking toward the clubhouse. You're on the back 9. And so when you really break it down, we don't have 75 years here. It's not as though you start your first year as an astute, alert, sentient being. You're a blob that can't even sit up or feed yourself. So you really only have 15 to 20 years of any kind of deep introspection where you're building something out of a full life here. That's it.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
That's 20 Christmases. That's it. 20. Your hands and my hands combined. That's it.
Yeah.
Where you really have some
Yeah.
Capability, I guess is the word. So that's why I get kind of amazed by some of the political things that take place where people want power. Great. So they've got all this power and then they're dead. And what have you created?
Yeah.
What
good
lasting
have you done in the world?
Well, what lasting thing? And some people might argue, well, it's great. They created chaos and they got rid of black people, or gays don't have rights anymore. Is that what we are as sentient human beings? Is we just want to restrict? Well, and that's not the fucking world I want to live on. The universe is throwing itself at us. I believe that wholeheartedly, that the universe is throwing itself at us because we keep talking about wanting to go to Europe. and you get your citizenship, which means 3 years from now, I'm a Luxembourgian citizen just by virtue of being married to you, unless you leave me for Jerry. And then, but I could also pursue my Polish and Italian citizenships because I have relatives that aren't that far removed from coming over here to this country. And then we meet Molly, who we were supposed to talk about her being on the podcast, talking about health and wellness, and we're going to map what that looks like. And next thing you know, she's telling us about how she became an expat and what that experience has been like. I just feel that the universe gives you exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
And if you're looking for shit to happen, it's going to give you shit. What it also doesn't give you, if I can go here and then you tell me your thoughts on this, it doesn't tell you specifically what to do. It doesn't say.
Sometimes I think it does, don't you?
Not specifically,
No?
no. Here, let me give you an example. The universe said, you're going to reach out to me on July 6th. We met on July 8th, right?
Yes.
July 6th, we talked on the phone. And without going into details of the conversation, we had a nice conversation. We scheduled time for July 8th. Sent some texts back and forth. You even probably said, we're still on for the 8th, right? Yep, I'm going to be in the studio. So the universe had you working in Chicago. The universe had me going to a studio not far from where you were going to be. I truly looked at it as, I don't want to go home. I don't want to sit in traffic. So right there, the universe, it'd be almost as if you could rewind your life, and the universe, or some people may want to call it God, whatever works for you.
Yep.
And rewind it and go, see right there, I gave you that chance. You just didn't fucking take it.
Yeah.
Don't put that on me. I gave you this chance. You didn't take it.
Yeah.
So July 8th, you say, let's meet. I went, cool, I'm going to be in the city. And I went, what do I have to lose? Let's meet. And now I have the most amazing wife in the world, an undeniably incredible life with you. I'm living in a state I never thought I would be in. And the universe has opened me up to so many things I would have never experienced. And I'm convinced. It's all because I could have easily said to you, you know what? I'm just going to head home.
Yeah. Just imagine how different things could have been.
So what
If we
the universe
hadn't have
didn't
met.
tell me go to Kerryman's to meet you. The universe said, don't go home. Do you get it? I'm not going to play out.
Kill time, skip traffic.
I'm not going to plan out your day for you, but just don't go home.
Yeah.
And I didn't go home. I spent time with you. And then again, I feel it's just opening up to what the universe is throwing out there. It's, you know, one of my favorite movies is called Yes Man with Jim Carrey, where he just says yes to everything.
Yes. Yeah.
And the world just opens up to him. So then Saturday rolls around, and you said, you didn't have to say this. I happened to be at my sister's house in Wisconsin. You weren't in Chicago. You were back to your condo in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And the universe, my sister called up. The universe went, see, I'm opening the doors for you.
At that time, do you remember thinking consciously that the universe is putting something in front of me? Was it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I often reflect back on something and go, oh, look at how, because that happened, then that happened. And because I followed through on that and connected with that person or went there, that event happened. And that is so good. I can't believe. And, you know, it goes both ways. Like sometimes unfortunate things happen too, right? That could have gone a different way had you made a different choice. But, I think for me, what factors into all this is like what you're saying in context of my relationship with you, because you and I are so happy and grateful to have found each other and to be together and to be in this committed relationship. And we are so excited about the adventures that we're going to pursue together as in our partnership. And it's like it's super exciting to imagine what we can make out of that. And I don't know if I've spoke about what I printed and put on the refrigerator. Yeah. So it's a mantra about releasing fear. And I recognize that fear is a limiter for me and a driver for me at the same time, right? And trusting in, like, tapping into the strength that I find in you to help me get over my fears, and also the self-talk of not being, just putting that fear aside and putting it on a shelf and recognizing it exists and it's there, but it doesn't have to be a part of me. And so yeah, I think all this universe talk, my point is like how it really ties into you and me and our future, and how we're trying to really maximize the time that we have together. It's almost a feeling of making up for lost time, that we didn't find each other sooner in life. It's like, damn, I wish I would have met you sooner, because this ride is so fun.
You know what's funny? Every time I tell you we would have been high school sweethearts, you say no, we wouldn't have. So there. We would have been lovers from the time we were 17. I would have
madly
popped
in
your
love
cherry.
and have,
And then you would
I
have
would have
met
been
Jerry.
spitting out babies at 17.
Yeah, we'd have 7 kids right now.
And awesome.
Yeah, one would be awful. Like, just, well, what happened with that kid? The other 6 would have been like astronauts, actors. One would have just been a doofus. Here's what I want to say to the universe stuff. I truly believe that the universe told me to meet you that night. Mm-hmm. So let me explain, because you said you're more hindsight universe. Like afterward, you're like, oh, I will admit that
sometimes.
I will admit that I'm more in it at the moment, where something comes up and I go, okay, act right away. Truly, my belief is something's put in front of me. Don't, like, even Mel Robbins talks about this. She calls it her 5-second rule. You have 5 seconds to react to something. Yeah. And so I don't wait to send someone a text. Mm-hmm. If they're on my mind, send them a text.
Yep.
If I get something from somebody, I would respond to it right away.
Yeah.
But to be sure, so I want to doesn't look like, oh, Jack's always been this guy. It wasn't until my friend Sarah, who I was good friends with back in Illinois, when I went to Colorado and went on my sojourn, where Sarah told me watch the movie The Secret. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, we talked about that on our podcast too.
Yeah, so I would always see the effects of the universe after the fact. Oh, I see why all these people came into my life. Mm-hmm. But after I watched The Secret 6 times, took the 6th time for me to get it, I went, oh. So instinctually, I've always been a very, hey, that looks cool, let's just react. But I never put pieces together. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What I now see is that the universe doesn't tell me to go to Kerryman's. Yeah. The universe says, don't go home.
Yeah.
There's a difference, right?
Yeah.
The universe says, you're thinking about going home? Don't go home tonight. Mm-hmm. Because go to the city, get your recording done, but don't go home. Because you have no idea how I'm in the middle of the studio wrapping up and I'm tired. And I don't feel like putting on my best face. Yeah. Right? Yep. And the universe said, just go. Trust me. Yeah. That's what I see now. Yeah. And so the moment you walked in, I went, this is why I'm here. Mm-hmm. Now, I didn't get hopeful that you and I were going to get married, but I went, okay, this is awesome. And then getting back to it, when I was at Laura's house, I truly went, all right, the universe wants me to go to my sister's house. I don't know why, but I'm going to say yes. Laura called up and said, can you go? I looked at my calendar, nothing going on. Sure, I'll come up. I had no idea what it meant. Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah. But then you called and said, can I come out? Yeah. And I'm telling you right now, my gut reaction was, no, you're not coming to my sister's house.
Too bad.
And then I went, why not?
That's a good story, actually, that one.
And so I feel today, and here's the most important part, because you said it. Sometimes the universe is sending us messages to tell us what not to do. It's equally as strong as saying, yep, go there, but
watch out for this, or that isn't quite where you're supposed to be.
I
like
joined
when
the Bourbon
things
Club.
don't work out easily, you're like, okay, I'm going to take my cues. I'm not going to try to fit this square, square peg
Peg,
into
round
a
hole, yep.
round hole.
Yep.
I'm going to listen and
Yep.
keep moving.
So year and a half ago, I wanted to network more in Milwaukee here.
Mm-hmm.
And so your brother got me as part of the Bourbon Club. And it's
Yeah.
a really cool club, really nice people.
And you love bourbon.
And I love bourbon. 0 relationships out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Truly 0. And the interesting thing was I went into it being myself because I keep telling you the common denominator story. I'm not going to act at these things. I'm going to be myself. And yet it didn't bond. It didn't connect.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I kept going at it and I kept having the same experiences. And I'm not going into it negatively. I'm going, all right, I'm going to try a little bit different tactic this time around.
Yeah.
And no one was digging me.
That if I remember correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, there were moments where that landed kind of hard. I think maybe that you had very high expectations of what it could be because on paper it looked like it was the perfect thing to do.
Yep.
And when it didn't pan out, we sometimes scratch our head going, why did I experience that? What was the point? That didn't really go the way I thought it would. And certainly things happen, or certainly people we meet just are a blip on the radar, and sometimes it never makes any sense. Other times it just takes time for how that piece fits into a puzzle. Like it could be random moment in the future that little piece of your bourbon experience comes down from the stratosphere and pops into place like you wouldn't have. Do you know? Am I making myself clear? Like sometimes,
sort of. I get what you're saying.
It's not always immediate that things can make sense. It can be over time.
Yeah, where I was going with the Bourbon Club experience is that it wasn't my fit.
Yeah.
And what the Bourbon Club was telling me was that's not your people.
Right.
That's not your group.
Right.
Right. You can keep going there because you like bourbon. It's not your group.
Yeah.
Because the moment I shifted and started talking, for example, to Emily Moore or to Michael from Emily's group, or to Jim, Meg's husband, or other interactions I have, like when I went to the Milwaukee Tech, then it started to click.
Yeah.
Right? Where I went, oh God, I'm connecting more with these people.
Yeah.
I think what the universe was telling me there is you're trying to put yourself into a circumstance because you think that's where you should fit.
Right.
I'm going to turn this totally on you now.
Okay.
I'm going to put the mirror right on your face.
Bring it.
I have been saying to you since I've met you, and I'm a big fan of all this, we should leverage our strengths and what we're good at.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really good at technology. I'm really good at certain things with people.
Mm-hmm.
With the Bourbon Club, none of those people were in my space. There was no one in technology with me while I was there, at least.
Yeah.
I tried to bond with some folks, but my personality was not jiving. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I've been saying to you since I've met you, you should leverage your modeling experience in some capacity.
Right.
Not that you're not good at being an agent, not that you don't like being an agent, but for some reason the universe isn't rewarding all your hard work at being an agent.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason you have to climb up 20 more steps to get places where people go to. But yet you step into the modeling world and bam, things just open. And ever since you said to me when we had our fight, that it kind of opened your eyes to go, maybe I should do something in modeling. Next thing you know, Kim Goodwin reaches out to you. The people in Costa Rica want to know if we want to come down and do a commercial.
Yeah.
It's almost like the universe says, all right, I'm going to let you go to this shitty place too, so you can learn what not to do. It's not just what to do. It's what not to do, right? To be sure, in everything I'm talking about, I didn't come to any of this clarity until I was 55 years old.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you. It was happening in front of me and I wasn't paying attention to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? I was always battling it. I think it's brilliant what is unfolding in front of us.
Can I ask you, do you remember having any mentors that you witnessed paying attention to this, paying attention to the signs that the universe brings you? You don't remember any mentors?
No, you remember a couple of weeks ago I met with Matt, whose company bought Alex's?
Yes. Yeah.
And Matt was sharing the story of how he saw a license plate that said Universe on it. And so I said to him the same question you just asked of me.
Yeah.
I asked him, did you know about this stuff? Did your parents, friends?
Yeah.
And he goes, Check, I just got up in the morning and busted ass. I didn't know about the universe. It wasn't until I got older that I started to realize that, because he said it in this context. He's CEO 3 times over. He's fixed companies now. He goes, I'm just a simple sales guy that worked at this small company and worked my way up because I worked hard.
Yeah.
I don't know how I got here. He goes, yeah, I understand EBITDAs and all this stuff. And we talked about some of the intricacies of business, right? He goes, but I don't know it. Like I go to board meetings and there's people who blow me away. And I think, how am I the CEO of a 10,000 person organization, right? And he said, but I realized that along the way, the universe kept rewarding me.
Yeah.
Because I was this way. It was an X way, right? Whatever that way is. And he said, it's only that I've gotten older when I go, oh my God, I've got to capitalize on what's being put in front of me. And he was the one that even said, I've capitalized on bad things to go, cool, don't go there again. Like I went a place that didn't feel right, but the universe presented it to me. And then I went there, he said, and I went, yep, not where I need to be.
Yeah.
So, no.
And that's so
Did you ever
purposeful
have this?
also.
Did
right?
you ever have this
a
insight?
mentor?
Or
Yes.
a mentor? You did?
I had a mentor. Yes. It was Carrie.
Oh,
It was Carrie.
she was a universe mentor for you, that kind of thing?
She was somebody that I learned about instincts from. And I've told her this, I truly wouldn't, there are certain people in our lives that we wouldn't be who we are with if they had not entered our life, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And I've got a few girlfriends and certainly now you, that I wouldn't be who I am if I had not met you. I would be a different person. I really believe that.
Prostitute.
And when girls gotta do
make
what
a
she's
living.
gotta do.
You gotta make a living.
And so
Polecat 7, The Return of Kathy.
when I
Or
was
Trixie. Sorry, didn't mean to give her.
when I was like 17 or 18 years old, I met my girlfriend Carrie, and by then she had just returned from maybe her 4th trip to Tokyo modeling. And so I had never even been on a plane. And so she befriended me and took me under her wing, and I watched her move through life very instinctually. I saw her read people and talk about, that thing or that person doesn't feel right, or silly things like we'd be in Walgreens shopping and she's like, I want to go down aisle 7. I'm like, okay. And she really has amazing instincts, and she's also not immune to them getting haywire when it's about ourselves.
Yeah,
right.
We all are, for sure.
But so I really learned a lot from her, and she taught me about instincts and trusting, and I think all wrapped into that was the universe stuff. And so she was an early mentor for me in my life. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. I had a career mentor, but not in the way you're talking about. Someone that told me how to be a little bit better at work, after I slammed a phone against the wall and it shattered.
Yeah.
He's like, maybe we shouldn't do that. Like I had that kind of mentor.
Yeah.
Which should be dumb obvious, right? That throwing a phone against the wall isn't productive, but it felt, like we always say, I wasn't right, but I was really effective. I'm curious. I want to talk about one last thing, and then we'll go to the Skin Deep. One of the things I asked you in the car, and I want to ask you again, is because I feel strongly about this, is because you said managing multiple things at the same time can be confusing for you. It's like you need to.
Yeah,
it's like your dating life. You couldn't date multiple people.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Like when I went on the dating apps, and if I had a date scheduled with somebody, I really didn't talk or meet or plan to meet anybody else. I wasn't like, on Tuesday I'm meeting Charlie, and on Wednesday I'm meeting so-and-so.
Right.
And
who's Charlie, by the way?
I don't know. I made that up.
All right.
He's right there with Jerry.
Okay.
Jerry's brother.
Jerry's brother. That's great.
So yeah, it felt energetically, it feels not natural to me to put energy into multiple things like that. Like that is, I don't know if it's confusing or overwhelming,
Sure.
or it feels a little bit like I'm being inauthentic in a way, like
disingenuous.
yeah,
I get it. Sure.
disingenuous to put that energy in more than one place.
Sure.
It's like my whole self isn't in this unless it is.
Yeah.
You know, and I see in contrast to how you like can throw even yet another ball in the air and get this thing going and manage it all and if some of it just falls away, so be it. That wasn't meant to be. You're like, okay, I'll let that one go.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's not typically how I've been. So when I have the universe saying, Europe, oh my gosh, how crazy that, not only do I have my citizenship, but now I've connected with somebody who has got all this insight
to get us
and
there.
Connections to how to make that happen.
Barriers removed, right?
Yeah. Connections to immigration attorneys that can answer questions and help facilitate and all of that.
Right.
And then I have this other text that is like, hey, I want to talk to you about talent agency. I'm like, what?
Well, can you tell everyone what you said in the car? Because it felt disparate. And what did I say to you? Don't you remember what I said when you said it feels so disparate? Which lane do I pick?
Yeah.
And what did I say? Do you remember what I said or not really?
Well, basically that you will choose a lane that means something to you.
Well, then I also said, what's wrong with starting a talent agency in Europe? Right? Like, why not put all that together? Because you could. Right? Like, you could create a talent agency in Europe, and maybe the universe is going, do both. Right? Or at least explore both.
Yeah.
So here's my question for you.
Or I do the talent agency here and I learn about what that takes, and I don't know.
So here's where I'm going with this. What recently I've been talking to a career counselor, this woman, Peg Stuckey. Look her up on LinkedIn. Highly recommend her. Very insightful. Everything from resume and LinkedIn building to coaching about career stuff. So I've worked with her before, engaged her again recently, as you know, just to say I'm trying to go through this second phase of life and I want to have we all, I believe, should have an outside resource in addition to our partners, spouses, and friends. Mm-hmm. We should have some sort of, like you're talking about, mentor.
Yeah.
Anyway, Peg said, I'd like you to get comfortable with curiosity and the unknown right now.
Yes.
And, and wonder. Yeah. Right. And so that's what makes me feel open to, I feel the universe once I went, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'm in an explorer mode.
Right.
That's what Peg said specifically. I want you to be an explorer right now.
Right.
Quick stat. Peg said that most people go through a layoff in their 50s, take the first job that they get because they're concerned about being unemployed. Mm-hmm. And so they'll take something that acquiesces in some way, some of them, right? 75 to 80%, I think she said, quit that job and go on to the next. And employers know that. So they get leery of bringing someone on too, because they know you're going to go to the next job because this was, and it's probably no different than the first boyfriend after a divorce or a breakup, right? There's that transition person.
Yeah.
So what Peg asked me to do was to avoid that circumstance and be an explorer and say yes to as much as you can. And if things don't feel right, walk away from it. But explore at this point.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
So that's what I was going to ask you. How does that feel? Because it's less about having more balls in the air.
That feels good. I feel like if I start to explore it, that on some level that's a commitment to it. And then I weigh out, like, how do I do that? How can I do all those things? How can I move to Europe and start a talent agency in Milwaukee? What does that look like? And I like the idea of releasing myself from the expectation of what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's a love that. Do you know what that is?
What?
Lao Tse, the philosopher from Asia, it's called Wu Wei.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you've talked about that before.
Yeah, Wu Wei just means
releasing
movement without energy
from the expectation.
That's right.
Of what
you're floating, but it feels directionless. It feels like it feels rudderless, but you're actually going someplace. And it's really cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, any more you want to talk about with this? I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that was it. Okay. That was it. And a big part of that is obviously how it relates to us and what we're going to do with our future. And
I feel amazing lately. I feel completely, I don't know if you feel the same way. I want your point of view. I feel completely untethered and it feels awesome. At the same time, I'm going, where am I going? And it's
Right.
but if you,
Right.
I'm embracing it. Like I feel really good about it.
Yeah.
Made much easier with you,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
All right, let's take one more break.
Okay.
If we could, and when we get back,
We'll
we're
do
going
our
to
skin
do
deep.
our skin deep questions for one another.
Good deal.
Okay.
I like
and
it.
We will be back in 2 and 2, or maybe 1 and 3/4.
Jack, did you hear the news?
Kathy, I hear a lot of things, and some of them I even listen to.
Well, you'll want to listen to this. The Jack and Kathy Shit Show is officially ranked number 3 on FeedSpot's top 15 dating after divorce podcasts.
Wait, we're number 3 out of all the dating after divorce podcasts?
Yep, and that's just not some random list. FeedSpot ranks podcasts based on relevancy, authority, social media following, and freshness, which means we're actually pretty legit.
So basically, we're in the dating after divorce podcast Hall of Fame.
Exactly. And if you want to check out FeedSpot for yourself, it's an amazing platform that curates the best content from around the web. Podcasts, blogs, news, even YouTube channels, all in one place.
That means, so then instead of doom scrolling through a million apps, you can just go to feedspot.com, find the content you love, and actually have time to, I guess, live your life.
Right. And if you're a content creator, FeedSpot can help you get discovered by over 415,000 bloggers, podcasters, and journalists.
So whether you're looking for great content or trying to get your own work noticed, FeedSpot seems to be the place to be.
Well, head over to feedspot.com to check it out. And while you're there, make sure to find their top 15 dating after divorce podcasts list to see our beautiful, shiny number 3 spot.
Number 3, baby! That means we are basically extras now.
Well, let's not get carried away.
And we're back.
We're back.
Okay.
We never really left.
We never
but
really
we're
left.
back.
It'd be great if we switched chairs. That'd be kind of funny. Right? No? All right. So which Skin Deep? So we have a relationship with a company called the Skin Deep. We get a 15% discount off of them. You've heard the commercial already, so I don't need to go much into it.
Mm-hmm.
We like to ask each other questions. We were watching a Skin Deep video this morning at breakfast.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty cool.
It was very cool.
If the folks at the Skin Deep are listening, we would love to be on the show.
Yeah.
I would love it tremendously. I think it'd be fun to share our story
Yeah.
publicly. I got a question for you. They asked a question that I like. Do you want to pull one from the deck, or do you want to ask a question?
Go for it. Use the question that you liked.
If today was the last day you could talk to me, what would you want to be sure that I knew? What was the one thing you'd like to make sure I heard you say?
That
You love Jerry. Always have.
that you had such a profound impact on my life that I never really knew what a true relationship looked like, or what I wanted a relationship to look like for me. Let me say that, because it's not the same for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And that I'm so profoundly grateful that you loved me and loved me so deeply, and you've changed me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
And I really love Jerry too.
Do you want to tell everyone who Jerry is? I think that's beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome, baby. It's true. And
You
tomorrow is Valentine's Day, and
No, it's not.
it is.
Oh, it is. It's right. Oh my God, it is.
Yes.
Shit, I thought today was Wednesday.
Yeah, we
Oh,
got
that's right.
we got our Valentine's plan tomorrow.
We
We're going
do.
to Chicago. It's time spent together. It's quality time, and we're together all the time.
Yeah, we party very well.
But we like to play, and we haven't played since Costa Rica.
Do you want me to answer the same question, or would you
Yeah.
like to ask me something else?
No, I like that question.
I'd want you to know that you made me the happiest I've ever been in my life. And I'm so glad I paid attention to the universe telling me not to go home. You have accepted me for every bit of me, and it is such a wonderful feeling to have someone love you for everything you are. And Brené Brown always says, and in her book emphasizes, you shouldn't love someone in spite of their challenges, but because of them,
Yeah.
because that's the totality of the person you're with.
Yeah.
And I have always said this, and I said it early on in the podcast, the reason I love you so much is because you make me feel seen. You have so many amazing qualities I could go on and on about.
Please go ahead.
No, not now.
Go ahead.
The most important one is how I feel about myself when I'm with you, which is why the sign behind me says I like to be with me when I'm with you.
Yeah.
And I can't believe there's a song out there, and isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
The universe gave us a song, right? And now it was part of our wedding. So
Yeah.
I can't thank you enough, and I want you, if I never get a chance to talk to you again, just to remember this moment. Replay it on the podcast.
Yeah.
Just play it over and
Yeah,
over again. I gotta
exactly.
produce it first, so
Yeah.
try not to die before I get it done.
Please don't.
All right, so wonderful podcast. Do we want to explain at the very end here who Jerry is?
Oh yeah, that's your story, babe. You go.
I've got some ideas, by the way. So we broke it up into 2 commercials now. We're getting a little bit more serious about being a real podcast. So we're going to end every podcast now after commercial with the Skin Deep. I'd like to talk about what's coming up next week. So I'm out next week, and I'm likely going to be
yeah, you are.
interviewing P for our podcast. And we'd
love
like to, we
that.
talked about having you come in and do a Zoom
Okay.
with us.
Okay.
So Key's going to set up some stuff there, which is cool. In a couple of weeks in March, we're going to have our favorite fan on, not just my mother, but Pam. Will be a guest on our show with her now fiance Gordy. We're crossing our fingers.
When she's on they get married tomorrow.
Yep, they get married
Yeah.
tomorrow. We are going to have we are looking to having
On
on
Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
That's so sweet.
we're looking to have a psychologist
Aw.
come on.
So great, Pam.
Yeah, Pam, so excited for you guys, Gordy. Congratulations. So yeah, I just want to make sure that we cover off on some things that we're doing. Please spread the word about our podcast. Subscribe to every channel and spread the word as much as possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'd like to kind of end everyone with talking about what's coming up in subsequent
I love
episodes.
it. Sounds good.
Babe, this is easy peasy with you. We could carve out a living with this shit. Right?
I just want to have fun with you, Jack Honar. I wish
It's hard not to.
I wish we
I'm a
were.
blast.
You are so fun. Life is not dull with you. It's never dull.
Pull my finger.
You showed me the other day on that note, because Jack always does pull my finger when he's about to fart, and or he'll touch the chair. Hey, have you seen this? And he farts, and you recently sent me a link that said couples that can fart in front of each other have a healthy, strong
Yeah.
relationship, and that is so true.
Yeah.
It really is. It's so true. It's just like
Because you gas it up now too. And I love it.
I'm
Clap.
far less gassy than you, but there have been some moments where I let him rip, and
It's
I was
fantastic.
like, "Oh, I feel one coming. He's gonna love this." And I'm actually like, "Babe, wasn't that good?" where like, I want you to be proud of me,
Yeah.
because I had this epic fart,
It's great.
and you're like, and you are just cracking up, like,
I love
"Yep,
it.
she's been hanging around me a little too much."
All right, let's close out with our story. Who is Jerry?
Well, Jerry is my lover that lives in your dreams.
Yes.
Your dreams.
Yes.
Not my dreams.
Yep.
Jack woke up this morning and was like, "Oh, had a terrible night's sleep. Oh, babe, what's going on?" Had this dream that I won't even be able to tell it all
You'll get it.
verbatim,
You'll get
but I was talking to someone named Jerry, who also had a podcast and who was on our podcast. And I started having feelings for Jerry. And
Well, then you and Jerry started your own podcast.
And Jerry and I started our own podcast. And then you caught us making out. And I was like, babe, what do you mean this is a problem? We talked about it. We talked... Jack, you talked about how you don't want to hold me down and you just want me to live my best life. And if that means that I got to move on from you or whatever, you just don't want to hold me back. And you were like, yeah, but you were supposed to tell me first.
This is all a dream.
And you were so heavy and despondent this morning.
Yeah.
So the whole day... And then you go ahead and like you start asking me serious questions like, do you have anything to tell me? As if your dream had any weight whatsoever in reality.
It might have been unveiling something.
Oh my God. And so the running joke now is that
Jerry.
Jerry and who Jerry is. And Jerry is nobody except
a figment of my imagination,
of
or
your
is he?
warped imagination, or is he?
Or is he? I think you look at the camera too.
That's
all right.
Jerry. Yeah.
Baby, always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
Thanks for being here. Appreciate.
Love you.
Let me get in there. Appreciate seeing you. Thank you. On that note.
All right.
Peace.
You just listened to another episode of the Jack and Kathy Shit Show. All recording, engineering, and production provided by us. Connect with the podcast on Instagram at Jack and Kathy Shit Show for more insight into our shit show of a life. This episode is proudly brought to you by Pint Productions.
Point.